I created a bowl here. For me, it's like a bowl of soup. A bowl of soup. It's sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, and that's what my life is sometimes.
I feel like people are looking at me when in actuality, I don't think anybody's really looking at me. Yeah, so I guess vulnerability would be the word.
My mental health and feelings are all like the ball, and then I just sort of tried to make it like skewed and a lot of like different loose ends almost. As the strands coming out, I feel like there's just a lot of loose ends that I don't know if they're really loose, but I feel like I have a lot of loose ends and I don't know how to like bring them back into that solid form.
I feel as though I don't really like think about my mental health as much. Like there's not a lot of thought process behind my mental health. Like I don't think very much about how I'm feeling, except in like a way a camera flashes, like a flash of like I'll have a moment where I'll be like, oh, how am I doing? Like how am I really holding up?
I don't even think people always push themselves over the edge, but the environment or situation maybe. I don't think a lot of us are taught how to take care of your mental health, and I don't think it's talked about a lot.
Definitely adds like a lot of stress to your, just everything you do. Like the stress just follows you around to whatever activity you're doing. It makes everything seem less enjoyable to you. I think before I didn't really understand the significance of what mental health was and how greatly it can impact your perception of events that happen around you and the perception of really your self-image is greatly impacted by your mental health.
When I was younger, I always would laugh when they asked me like, are you happy at the doctor's office? And I didn't really know what that meant because I was always like happy and a jokester. And I was just like, why are you asking me this? Like, of course I'm happy. And then sort of getting like further into high school, I realized like it's a question that should be asked.
So I go every Saturday afternoon, spend an hour and a half or so every Saturday just to talk with God, you know, all that stuff. And I feel like that helps me a lot with what I'm going through.
You know, just going out and doing things in small groups is a real lifesaver for me.
I don't know, I put effort and time into making music. I like to always think about things that have happened, so it's like, if I'm writing a song, then I could just tell the story that way. Drawing or making a painting, I could either just do some random stuff with just certain colors that fit a certain mood, or I could just draw one thing that is symbolic to whatever memory it is to myself. Just representing whatever I'm feeling.
I can share the way I feel around the people closest to me, but the masculine thing to do is to push away how you may really feel.
Men need to be stoic rocks who, you know, barely ever feel emotion or can be harmed.
Whenever some male tries to speak about it, they always shame him for him.
Just the other day we were watching a TV show and a strong stoic man character, his friend commits suicide, and they showed the funeral him crying, which was actually like really cool. Like, not that his friend killed himself, not that he was hurt, but like just showing it. I don't think I coped. I don't think I coped at the start. If you had asked me that question at the start of the pandemic, I would have smushed the brain.
You know, people were saying that, you know, you can be out on the street after a certain time, You know, because you start thinking all these things that you might see in movies or, you know, and stuff like that, you know, when there's like wars, you know, and it's like that. It feels like World War II, you know, or something like that.
I went off to college right after the peak of the pandemic hit, and you know, we didn't get our high school graduation. And going off to college, I felt really overwhelmed, and I just wasn't ready for that pace of work yet.
Post-pandemic life, it's been hard because I tend to be an extroverted person, and just like going out and being with people is not like having to do something, but just chilling with people.
I feel like it's very controversial to say but the pandemic really helped me. Like, I went through a lot of self-discovery, I guess. Maybe it was the pause in society that like everything froze for a minute and everybody was forced to stay in. And it really helped me come to terms with a lot of stuff. And I had a lot of self-exploration.
It's supposed to be a sun. I feel like there is like that bright spot at the end of the day.
That's a mountain, and that's me. So it's like me always kind of being on top of my mental health every week. That's how I feel. You know, I'm always trying to strive to go to the top of the mountain and be in good health.
The center is way thicker, so it's like, you know, way more stable, but that there's still the things that are branching out in like varying degrees, you know, like, because nothing's ever going to feel perfect. And so like the pieces that affect my mental health are never ever all going to be in line. But it's also not like helpful for anyone to see like me be like, oh yeah, like he's got it all together, you know, like that's not good, because either they idolize that or they feel like I'm unapproachable. I'm screwed up, but like not that much, you know. I got some stability.
How I would present myself is this would come across as arrogant. So I don't want to come across as arrogant, so I do it back to the ball just to let people decide what their own opinion is. I know how I feel. I don't care how they make me feel.
Therapists, they're always there to listen. That's quite honestly their job. Because you can have a smile on your face on the outside, but on the inside it's like you're crying in a hole.
Making art is a good way to get through something. So you could be the worst artist in the world, but you could just, you know, throw some paint somewhere, you know, do something. If you don't want to talk to anybody, write a song or get on the Notes app, you know, write it out.
I feel like we gotta get off this whole thing that talking about men's health is tacky or cheesy. And like a lot of dudes don't want to share. And it's still like, it's still interesting to see people are still real, like, I can't find the word, but hesitant. It's kind of like resistant to help or just talking about their inner feelings. So I feel like a lot more guys should really speak on how they feel.